Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair rouge raiders. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge. And today is a very, very special day. One I've been waiting for a while. You see, as you've probably already have guessed in this series, I'm introducing a new villain, a new series of challenges for Deku to overcome. And you all don't know a lot about them. They've been kept in the shadows from you. They've been hidden. And I think it's time I bring them to the light. Or at least bring them out of the darkness that you're so used to into a lighter shade. This is going to be a fun time. And that's the reason I'm starting off with this old font right here in front of me, instead of the standard one that we're so used to seeing. The Brachydios the Destroyer. We're going a bit old school, because today's episode will be focused on Mr. Lefleur. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, now that the obligatory opening is out of the way, let us get down to proper business. Good evening. I am Mr. Lefleur, also known as Chalet Lefleur. My specialties include genetic research, as well as, shall we say, experimentation. I am currently 26, and I was working in the great and prosperous nation of France a long time ago. However, one day I received a message, a video message from a very important investor. Attention, Mr. Lefleur. I am a humble man, and as such, I request your assistance in a certain matter. I know you are trying to investigate the monster genes. I know you are trying to figure out how they work and how to improve upon them. I will give you an incentive. $5 million as a down payment. Please continue your research. All I ask is some information whenever it's available, as well as a call back. Yours truly, Mr. X. I will admit it was quite the shock. Quite the shock indeed. But upon further examination, I found so many things. And I must say I was tempted to cause him right then and there. However, I must know more about this. Because if I call with nothing, they may resend the money. And money is money after all. It burns all just the same, whether with actual fire or whether you're spending it. I use that to fund my research even more with new vigor. And boy, did I find something. Inside every monster, there is a chance for deviancy, a chance for genetics to be altered and turned into something that is truly outrageous. However, the process is trying, painful even, but it must be done. It must be done so we can see what is truly remarkable about the monster gene. Why we are born this way. Why we come across these mutations. I must know beyond a shadow of a doubt, for that is my life's goal. Upon researching this further and doing some of the books, keeping of funds, I contacted Mr. X. And boy, was he something. He was quite the strange man, to say the least.
Good evening, Mr. Lafleur.
Yes, Mr. X. I apologize, but is that really how I must address you?
For now, Mr. Lafleur. I am a very cautious man. I have reason to be, after all. So, if you don't mind me asking, what have you found out?
Well, you see, after much genetic experimentation and dissection and augmentation, it turns out as if the deviancy and genetic deviancy is not just something that can happen to 1 in 100, but can be inflicted upon all, and I do mean all species. Each species has a genetic deviancy rating from 1 to 100, and by doing this, by triggering certain events, stimulating certain receptors, you can truly watch and see the changes unfold as they, well, undergo the process.
So you're saying there's a way to evolve them further?
Yes. However, the process seems to be quite painful.
Oh? And how do you know this?
I have used the money to procure a few test subjects. I hope you do not mind.
No, Mr. Lafleur. Science is a cruel mistress, and must be obeyed.
Indeed, Mr. X, indeed. You are one very smart individual.
So, I must ask, would you wish to partner with me?
Partner? I am sorry, but what do you mean?
Would you like to come and work for me? I could use someone of your talent where I'm going.
Oh? And how so?
Mr. Lafleur, do not play coy. You are a villain, vile and distasteful. I know that you put on the cover of acting as a staunch and stern scientist. However, at night, you go out on rampages. You've killed quite a few. You've slaughtered quite a few.
This is true. But if I may say, why have you not informed anyone of this? And why give me the money?
Because, Mr. Lafleur, your bloodthirst does not bother me. I find it benign in comparison to your mental capacity. You are more useful to me alive, and more useful to me given proper instruction. So, I will ask again, do you wish to be my partner, or do I need to cast you aside?
Cast me aside? You make it sound as if I'm already dead. As if I'm already trapped.
You're beginning to see it now, aren't you, Mr. Lafleur?
Yes, I see. So, you expect me to call your bluff, huh? I tell you what. You keep providing me those type of funds. I'll call you Mr. X as much as you want. I'll call you whatever you want, boss.
Very well, Mr. Lafleur. Now, pack your bags. There'll be a ticket waiting for you in about 2 hours, going along with the mail. It'll be to Japan.
Japan? Why would they want to go to Japan? And on such short notice?
Mr. Lafleur, we have much to discuss. Upon your arrival, you will be greeted by a certain man. He will not know the native language that well, but as long as you can speak English, he should be fine.
I detest English, but very well.
Note, they are talking in French currently. I would prefer to do so, but at the same point in time, most of you wouldn't understand me. At the same point in time, yes, you will, whenever there is a language transition, I will let you know. My apologies.
I detest speaking in English, but if you wish.
Thank you very much. Now, please be prepared before the ticket arrives. I wish for this all to go seamlessly. As Mr. X hangs up.
Strange man, strange money, strange rules, but it's the most fun I've had all week. And besides, local heroes are no longer causing me much of an issue. But they are beginning to be a pain in the tuchus. Oh well. Needless to say, it's time I outgrew this place.
As he prepares and grabs his things and, well, walks off. As he gets the envelope with the ticket. First class, straight to Japan. Upon getting there, he sees a man with blue jeans, a flannel shirt, a broad-rimmed cowboy hat, and nice boots. As he has up a sign saying, Mr. Flowers.
It is Lafleur, you dumb sack of shit.
I was told to meet you by the boss.
Yes, I understand. Now, where are we going?
Follow me, sir.
Yes, go on, you imbecile.
As he proceeds to take him along.
You are a monster, no? Similar to me. I smell the strengths about you.
Yep, I'm a monster. What of it?
Nothing. If I may ask, what is it?
None of your business.
Very well, Mr. Kurt.
Very well, Mr. Prancy.
You are lucky you are working for my current employer, or I'd have you for lunch. Now, where the hell are we going in this shithole?
Follow me as they load up into the car and drive off. All the way into the forest lands, where they come across a secret entrance into an underground, well, bunker. Well, I say bunker. More of a complex, spanning acres upon acres of coverage underneath the surface. Mr. X would like to wish you his deepest regrets, but he is unable to make it at this point in time. My name is Chuck, and I've been told to stick with you as long as you need, and to assist you in whatever manners you need assisting in. Yes, very well, Chuck. Why don't you go whittle on a stick or rosin your bow or whatever euphemism you crazy Englishmen say? As you wish, sir. Let me know whenever you are ready for my return. Yes, Chuck, now go. As after Chuck shows him to where he is supposed to be laying down at, as well as the laboratory facilities, he departs. This place is remarkably well intact. Not to mention the state of the architect. I like. Oh, the new beaker smell. Got to love it. Now, what service system do we have here? Ooh, state of the art. Made by the Yayorozu Foundation. Not bad. Not my preferred cup of tea, but it's always ironic when hero support makers are baking things for me. Oh, yes. As, after about an hour, the screen turns on, and Mr. X appears. Mr. LaFleur. Oh, yes, Mr. X. What did you need? Simple. I have been told by Chuck that you have met with him. Yes, I have met your Chuck. By the way, when will you be arriving? I have been delayed for the next week. I apologize in advance. I will send money into your account to make up for it. Yes, very well. Is there anything you need me to look into while I'm there? While I am here? Yes. There are samples I have set up in cold storage I wish for you to examine. And proceed to tell me the results. As you wish, sir, as you wish. I will do so post-haste. As the screen cuts off, and he starts to work. Interesting. High amounts of alkaline metals? Brachydios. Strange. Let's see here. He types in on his computer, and next thing you know, he must be wanting to know. This must be one of his men, and he's wanting to try and deviate them from their natural course. Very well, I shall gladly do so. He is paying me more than enough money, after all. As he begins to type in and examine everything. Interesting. Just from the samples alone, this man is one hell of a specimen. Power, strength, even agility is off the charts. At least according to the reports here. And the power of this slime is still exceedingly volatile, despite the amount of time it must have been sitting in that vehicle, especially in the freezer. Very impressive. Very impressive indeed. But let us see what you can turn into, no? Let us see what your true secrets hide. As he begins to poke and prod the samples of blood and tissue. I see. You will not be no ordinary Brachydios. Oh, no, 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 no. Judging by this, you are just a little bit away from being perfection. Yes, you will be most useful as an ally. As he suddenly gets a knock on his door, and causing him to immediately. What is it? Come in. As Chuck enters. Yes, sir, Mr. LaFleur. Mr. X has requested your assistance in a matter. Oh, I did not get any contact about it. Of course not, sir. You are the scientist. I am the security personnel. My job is to protect you. And I was also told to take you and examine something. Very well. As he sets everything down, puts all the samples back up, and proceeds to follow Chuck. So, Chuck, do you have a last name or is it just Chuck? Name's just Chuck. Oh? Are you trying to imitate my accent? Nope. Just not wanting to argue with you over it. Oh? And why is that? Arguing people like you is a waste of time and air. People like me? What do you mean, people like me, Chuck? Simple. People who are over-arrogant in their skill set, thinking that just because they possess a bit of knowledge in a certain area of expertise that they are capable of doing anything at any time. People that think that they are above the law even though they are one with it. My, quite the philosophical one, are you not, Chuck? Tell me something. How much is that philosophy going to do if you keep pissing me off and I impale you several times over? Mr. LaFleur, I would highly recommend you don't try me. As Mr. LaFleur suddenly gets a chill run down his spine. He doesn't show it, but for some reason, something inside him, his predatory instinct, is telling him, don't. As Mr. LaFleur just goes, fine. Very well. You cannot take a simple joke, stupid American. My apologies for not being humorous, Mr. LaFleur. As they drive. And as they drive, they eventually wind up at a prison. What are we doing here? Simple, Mr. LaFleur. We're here to do an examination. Examination? What type of examination are we talking about? You hear coming over. My apologies. Examination? What type of examination are we talking about? Well, simple, Mr. LaFleur. The type of examination where you view your subjects from afar. You're looking for this man, as he holds out a picture. Let's see here. Hisashi Midoriya. Age 35. also known as Devastation. Is this supposed to mean something?
He was a well-known vigilante, powerful, strong, and brutal.
And your point being?
My point being, he's here.
Okay, we have a wannabe hero locked up in a cage. What do you want me to do?
You know those samples you examined earlier?
Yes, what about that shock?
They came from him.
Pardon?
Those samples came from every fight he's been in. He's had to pay a premium in order to get them bottled, contained, and sealed. Mr. X wants you to evaluate Mr. Midoriya and tell him what you think. Tell him if he's worth it.
Yes, fine. I will examine this Midoriya. What am I doing?
Simple, sir. He takes out a pen, paper, and a clipboard. You're going to be entering in as a volunteer.
Volunteer? Volunteer? You want me to volunteer into this prison? For what?
Mr. X has already had your papers examined. For the next week, you are a volunteer doctor, physician. You will give the inmates checkups and determine which ones are available for proper treatment. After that, and a thorough examination of Hisashi, you will, well, be given even more money and possibly more subjects to examine.
Fine. Yes. Just hand me the feckin' papers.
As he gets them and slams the door shut as he leaves. Going up to the prison and let in. And every single prisoner is thoroughly examined and marked down as he goes through the line. Very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. This is quite something. Most of these prisoners, they would not survive the change. They would possibly pass out at their current rate. But Mr. Hisashi is beyond expectations. Oh, yes, he is most definitely something to be feared and something to be utilized. Very well.
As he gets everything set up. And as the week ends, Mr. LaFleur is beginning to get irritated.
Shock, get your ass in here.
Yes, Mr. LaFleur.
Where the hell is Mr. X?
Not here.
Yes, I understand he is not here. What I'm asking is, where is he? He say he'd be here in a week. It has been a week, and there is still no X. Tell me where he is.
Mr. X will reveal himself in due time. For now, please focus on your work.
Excuse me? Are you telling me what to do? I am just referring to the orders I was given, sir.
Shock.
Yes, sir.
Listen, you're not a bad guy. For a stupid American, you're relatively benign. But at the same point in time, if I am going to work for your employer, I must at least have something, something tangible in order to, how should I say, have proper trust.
I see. That is most inconvenient. I will relay that message to Mr. X at your request.
Thank you, Mr. Shock. Now, here, as he hands him a stack of papers.
What is this?
It is the papers from Mr. X. Will you please file them for me?
Very well, Mr. Lafleur. As he walks off. And a few weeks later, Mr. Lafleur has given up on finding Mr. X. That is until one day as he's sleeping, he hears commotion coming from the other room. The commotion and stammering of a loud vehicle pulling in as he wakes up and goes to see Chuck pulling out from the back of his van Hisashi, an unconscious and seemingly badly bruised Hisashi Midoriya. What are you doing? And what are you doing at this godforsaken hour? Well, you see, these were my orders, Mr. Lafleur.
Your orders? Your orders was to break into a prison and kidnap an unconscious man.
No, sir. My orders were to arrange for Mr. Midoriya to be transferred to us.
Transferred? How do you transfer a prisoner?
Mr. X has his ways.
Yes, but he does not have a way to show himself, now does he? Fine. Just let me rest. I will tend to him in a moment.
As we're now taking this from Hisashi's perspective.
Oh, my head hurts so badly. What happened?
As he gets up feeling very odd sensation. Something very soft, as if he's been laying in a bed.
What happened to my cot? Where am I? Ugh. And who are you?
A man with a flannel shirt, blue jeans, boots, and a wide-brimmed hat approaches.
Hi.
Hello? Who are you and what are you doing here?
Slow down.
apologies for inconvenience. Please go a little slower on me. As Sasashi thinks. American? Okay, where are we? You are safe now. Your prison was attacked. Rogue prisoner got loose, transformed, killed guards, nearly killed you. My employer is big fan. Wants you alive. Wants you safe. Okay. I need to get back though. I just have about a week left before I'm free. Calm down. Was not a random attack. You were set up. As he brings out a few papers and sits them to him. Set up? What do you mean set up? Easy, please. Slow down. What do you mean I was set up? Simple. Someone wanted you dead. More than likely one of the members of crime families you beat and battered while being Devastation. Okay. And what does your employer want? Employer wants you safe. Wants you to be free. You, his hero. Inspiration for all this. I inspired this? Yes. You make his dream reality. Till you stand up for status quo. Very few did. You showed people monsters can help. Show them what we are capable of. You made everything fantastic for a time. Fantastic? Pardon, misspoke. You made us look good for a time. Okay. So, what does he want with me specifically? He wants to help you and your family. My family? He knows I have a family? Yes, sir. Not uncommon. Mr. X does research on possible people he will recruit. He is very paranoid. Uh-huh. And what is it you're planning on doing here? Time will tell. You hurt. Please let me fix and get you food. Okay. As Hisashi kinda relaxes. As Chuck goes over and tends to his wounds, he says, "What is your name, by the way?" Shock. Shock. It's what crazy scientist calls me. My name is Chuck, but he calls Shock. Crazy pompous bastard. He decent guy, but pompous bastard.
Okay. So, what else are you doing?
Going to do light first aid. Then after that, we'll get you food. Then bring you to doctor.
Very well, as that's exactly what happens. But boy, is he surprised by the food. Usually he has to hold back his appetite. He's been having to hold back his appetite for years. As a monster, he requires a lot of protein, and I mean a lot, just to stay alive. Even the prison systems that are designed to hold these people have to give them the bare minimum requirement in order to meet the status quo. And boy, oh boy, does he bring him out a feast. I am talking large sets of ribs, steaks, burgers, salads. Yes, salads. A whole bunch of different dishes. And dig in. All of this is for, yes, dig in. Hisashi wastes no time. He digs right on in like a starving man. Just nom 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 nom. As, oh, okay, I'm stuffed. Want dessert? I'm good. What next? Simple. Take you to a doctor. Okay. And so he does. He takes him straight to Mr. Lafleur. He does a few examinations, some blood tests, and boy, is he ever happy with the result. As, oh, you'll be fine, my friend. You'll be fine. Do not worry. I will make sure everything is taken care of. Yes, thank you. No problem at all. After all, you are most valuable to us. So I hear. Now please, why don't you go get some rest? Your wounds have not quite healed yet. Right. As Mr. Hisashi leaves, Chuck comes over and says, how was the examination? Oh, it was fantastic. You have no idea. Fresh blood? I'll be able to synthesize a hormone in a few days. Providing him with that, he will bulk up, he will change, he will begin to alter, and he will evolve. Good. Mr. X will be pleased to hear. I'm sure. Why so interested in this man anyways? You don't know him, do you? Why should I? You just gave me his bio. Devastation is a powerful adversary. He has taken down multiple crime syndicates over his few years of being around as a vigilante. He had more than enough points to become a hero. However, due to the innate bigotry, he was forced, and I mean forced, to back down from that prize. And in turn, went to a life of crime, or vigilantism, if you will. Okay, what's next? Simple. He was powerful, but he disappeared. He disappeared? Yes. Approximately 10 years ago, he disappeared off the face of the planet. He was gone.
Then he popped back up once after 4 long years. After those years, he popped right back up, defending. Pardon me, sorry. He popped up. Okay, you have me curious. How so? By killing a supervillain. Excusez-moi, he killed a supervillain? Yes. And what was this villain's name? Muscular. Oh, I heard about him. Apparently his death was quite brutal. He slammed him through a building. Excuse me? Well, that is, to be fair, not that big a deal. I thought the infamous Muscular. No. When I say slammed him through a building, I'm not talking about hitting him sideways and him going through one end and out the other. They were on the near top floor of a newly made building. Both in their transformed states, Hisashi smashed him through the top layer to the bottom layer, each time on the way down, hitting Muscular in the chest over and over, exploding his slime dead center faster than his muscle fibers could regenerate and cover it back up. He pounded into his body until there was nothing but a bloody pulp left upon hitting the ground. I see. So you say he is very brutal when it comes to it. Okay, now I see why you want him on our side, but why does Mr. X not try and save him then? Simple. He would have refused. Oh? And why so? Mr. Hisashi has one critical weakness. His son. His son? Yes. That's why he disappeared. It turns out he had relations with a female hero for a couple of years. After that, they had a child, Izuku Midoriya. He is also a Brachydios. However, the biggest thing is, he shares his father's enthusiasm. Very well. So this is his weakness, huh? So why not kidnap the boy and force him to join us? Simple. Because if you do that, you inspire him to join us out of hatred. For him to properly cooperate, we need him out of obligation, duty, not fear or hatred. You kidnap a child, he'll do 1, maybe 20 jobs. But each time he does so, he'll be thinking of how to escape, waiting for the right time to strike us. However, tell him we're doing it for a cause he believes in. He'll be with us from the start and fight loyally. Mr. Shark, why do I have the feeling that Mr. X is a lot closer to me than I originally thought? It took you long enough to figure that out, Mr. LaFleur. Oh, so the infamous Mr. Shock, the man who has been helping me all this time, was in fact Mr. X. Mind telling me why the misdirection? I had to see how you'd react to the help. First impressions were terrible, but you didn't do too bad. Now I can properly get this place staffed. And no longer have to wear this.
Oh, but you look good in flannel.
Shut up.
Yes, very well. So why did you wear the stereotypical American dress for the southern people?
It made me stick out. Easily able for you to notice me. Not to mention, it's fun not having to worry about things every once in a while.
Very well. You keep your secrets, Mr. X.
Please, call me Cornelius.
Very well, Mr. Cornelius. Very well. Mr. Shark X Cornelius, I give 0 damns. As long as you let me do my job, you can call yourself the Princess of Notre Dame.
Thank you kindly, sir. Now, please continue with your research.
Very well.
And that, my friends, is where we're going to be ending it off today. I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.